Good evening, darlings, and welcome to episode 12 of Greenwood Talks. So I have two more questions this week. One more serious, and I'll go to one that's a little bit more, well, they're both pretty serious. That's just how we normally go with these things on this program. So let's just dive right in and get to it. So the first one is from Ultra Fan Goddess, who says, King Thranduil, I seem to have a serious problem. Not too long ago, I was on the verge of fading. My mother's kin treated me very harshly because of my mixed parentage, and my father's kin feel that I act too dwarvish and rejected me. However, I met someone who kept me from fading. I have very strong and overpowering feelings when I'm around her. This would not be a problem if her heart did not already belong to another. Please help me figure out how to deal with this. Sincerely, a lost soul. Oh, this is very difficult. Well, darling, can I just say, first and foremost, that I'm very glad that you found something to keep you here. You know, I myself had a time where I nearly faded as well, and I made a choice, and it was a very difficult choice to make for me. But I'm very, very grateful that I did choose to stay on. There's so many wonderful things that have happened that I never would have gotten to experience if I had let myself go like that. And part of me, of course, is very angry that I almost missed out on all the wonderful opportunities that came my way as a result. But I understand because I still remember, I still feel that part of myself every now and again. And I know why I almost chose to let myself go, but I can't stop being thankful for the fact that I didn't. And so I'm glad that you also made this choice, darling, and I hope that you feel satisfied in that, even if the one you found feelings for may not be able to return them. Um, I'm very sorry that your kin are harsh. I know that we can be very judgmental, particularly of things that remind us of mortals. You know, we elves have very traditional values, I suppose is the best way to say, most of us at least. And it's because of our long lives, you know, and when you spend so long living with one thing being the way it's done, it just seems like there can't be another path. And I think we are capable of changing that way of thinking. It's just very hard. I'm sure many of you have seen with me. I'm trying so hard, but it's been a struggle, and that's for me having a personal reason to want to change. So for those who don't feel that way, I think it's even more difficult. So I am sorry that you're going through this sort of prejudice, and I can see why that would compound everything going on. But know that even if this this maiden does not return your feelings, that that you still have purpose in this world, and I hope that you continue to choose not to fade, as difficult as it can be so often, darling. And start with the small things that make you feel like you have a reason to stay. And I think over time you sort of can see how they add up, and you start to appreciate more things that are happening. And of course, darling, if you ever need to speak with someone about any of this, please don't hesitate to send me a message. You know, I've been there myself, and so if you need someone who can understand, I don't even have to offer advice. I can just be someone there to listen. Don't hesitate. I'm serious, darling. Please don't hesitate to ever ask me about anything. I don't have a lot of specific advice for you at this time, so I'm going to move on, but know that you're doing something very difficult right now, but ultimately very rewarding, and I hope that you do find happiness as a result. So I'm going to move on to another slightly less serious, but we always deal with serious things on this program, so here we go. This is from Bad Mihad, who I had been having a bit of a discussion about several things, including sort of how alcohol can affect relationships, and after a party. My dear friend seems to have gotten themselves into a bit of a pickle, and wanted to know if I could talk just a little bit about male-female relationships, whether or not they're stupid, and sort of alcohol's role in all that. So I think first and foremost, we've all done these things where you drink to sort of relax or to get the courage to say or do something that you normally don't have the courage to say or do, or perhaps you just got caught up in the moment, and then next thing you know, you're the person you are when you drink. And of course, everyone has a different reaction to drinking, and some people have different reactions depending on which liquor they're drinking. And so that's something to keep in mind, of course, about all of this. And I've done countless stupid things, darlings. I seem like I'm not the type to ever do anything, but in my youth I did so many things that I can't believe myself, honestly. I dread the memories. But there's something that now I can look back and sort of laugh on a little bit. And I think I did a lot of them, particularly when trying to impress the woman who later became my wife. And, I think she thought I was a bit of a prat for quite a while until she sort of saw that there were many sides of me. And I think if someone can't love you at your worst, then they don't deserve to love you at your best. Because if you're going to be with someone long term, of course, they need to be able to deal with you no matter what. Now, I'm not saying act a crazy fool or do something truly terribly harmful, but I think if you just sort of are who you are when you drink, and you plan on drinking around them, and they can't handle it or whatever, um, then that's a sign that perhaps it's not quite meant to be. And I'm being a little harsh on you, darling. It's true, but it's because I know that you will be able to recover from this. I have 100% confidence in your abilities, and so it's going to hurt right now. Particularly the embarrassment always is so difficult, but you've learned from this, and I think sometimes it takes a mistake in order for us to sort of grow, and and so don't be afraid to do stupid things every once in a while. I mean, don't seek them out by any means. But don't be afraid to sort of do it. Just try it. And I think there's nothing wrong with sort of exploring our own feelings and sort of who we are at the same time. And alcohol is just one means to get there. So know that it is a part of yourself, whether there was alcohol involved or not. Of course, that was responsible, and I know that may not actually make it any easier. It may make it harder, in fact, to come to grips with that realization. Um, but if this man can't accept you as who you are, then he's just not worth it, darling. He's just not worth it. He's not worth your time. He's not worth the wonderful person that you are, and therefore it's time to start looking for someone who does. So, I toast to you, darling, and I know if you need anything, of course, you'll contact me further. And so to both of you, I wish you both the best of luck, and ta-ta.